A very warm greeting to everyone present here and very welcome back to Cricket Analysis by CNE. This is the preview of the third test match held between England and India. And joining me in my panel today is yet again, Vedant, Sharan and Proneet, Ghatak. We're going to discuss about different conditions. We're going to talk about the slope of Lords. We're going to talk about the playing 11. We're going to talk about how it could play out, how the wicket could play out. So a lot of things to talk about as England have already given their XI. So we have to talk about that 11 as well and why they have chosen so. But I have a question starting off because we have come to 1-1 and we have come to Lords with an equality in this series. Vedant, in a 5-match test series, how important is the third match of the series and how could it pay dividends for the side who wins it?
See, I think it's a very important match with the test match now being held at 1-1. This test could be called as the moving test match, like we call day 3 the moving day, same likewise. So it is a very interesting match, and whichever team wins it will have an advantage going forward in the series.
Yep. And India have won quite convincingly. Not long ago, 3 days ago, they have won quite convincingly. And now we are suddenly here at Lords with momentum with India because it's just been 3 days after playing a very lengthy 5-day test match. And Proneet, I have a question for you. How could it, how does the break define how the match goes? Because India have played a 5-day test match. They haven't had a lot of workload because they have bowled quite well. But from the English point of view, they have bowled around 250 overs, more than half the match. How could it pay a lot of, how is it a big factor for the match that can be held at Lords today?
Yes, definitely it will pay. It will be a important deciding factor rather. The 3-day gap. India has the momentum with them. Plus the English batsmen who were fielding for 5 days, almost or 4 days. They were fielding for 4 days. So that is a huge deciding factor. India has the momentum with them, and England will have some changes as well. So everything is
Mhm.
just pointing towards India. So hope they can continue the momentum with them in the Lord's Test.
But one more thing that can come in factor is that England are more experienced in Lords and India have come with an inexperienced side. But the factor of Jasprit Bumrah, who is set to play this test match, also comes in. We're going to talk about those kind of factors later on in this video. We're going to go to the squads of of both sides. So Indian squad is still the same. They still have 18 members, so not a lot to talk about here. We're going to the English squad where we have Gus Atkinson, who has been added to the squad and not been slotted into the 11 already. Do you feel that, Vedant, this is a good decision by England to play Jofra Archer ahead of Gus Atkinson?
Yes, I do think so. Because of that X factor that Jofra Archer is and the pace that he possesses, that hence I feel that he's a very good addition to the side. Yes.
Yeah, all smiles here because we're going to talk to the English 11, and they have done exactly that. Jofra Archer comes in for Josh Tongue, who has been quite inconsistent, to be precise, because the last 2 test matches he has gone for a lot of numbers, and he's like that likewise bowler of Prasidh Krishna as well, who has been opted out as well. So this could be who could be opted out. I don't know if Prasidh Krishna is playing the next test match. We don't have that kind of idea yet, but one would imagine that he would be dropped. So this 11, Proneet, do you feel like this 11 is good, judging by how the last match played, or is this still less changes than what you would expect from England?
No, I also expected just one change from the England point of view. I expected Gus Atkinson to come in for Josh Tongue because I have many reasons for that. Because Gus Atkinson debuted last year. Last year he debuted and he had a phenomenal debut, and since then he has been unstoppable with the ball. He has got a lot of wickets, about some 30 wickets I think he has got, or something 30-40 wickets, and one of the top wicket takers of the last WTC cycle. So Gus Atkinson in such great form, he has got 200s as well, I think. And at Lords, especially, he has a batting average of 44 and a bowling average of 10. So, and Jofra Archer, on the other hand, he has played 1 day of Test cricket. 1 day of Test cricket in last 4 years. He last played in 2021. Since then, he has played last for in this Sussex Test match. He bowled only one day. He fielded for only that day. That's it. So even Michael Vaughan talked about the addition of Jofra Archer. He said that how is somebody who has not played a test match for more than 4 5 years, how will he play for all the 5 days? Because you're not going to bowl 4 overs or 5 overs. You have to bowl long spells. You have to field at fine leg or at mid on or somewhere. You have to field for the whole day. So you need that stamina or that playing momentum in you to continue. So, and Gus Atkinson most recently played in the Zimbabwe test. He got injured there. So
Mhm.
overall, I think everything should point towards Gus Atkinson. Yes, Jofra Archer brings the X factor and also a stability, but still I would prefer Gus Atkinson coming in instead of this decision of Jofra Archer.
Especially when you talked about where Jofra Archer has played only one day of Test cricket in the last 4 years. You want to also talk about that England have been favoring flat pitches as well for the past two Test matches, and who knows, they might favor this Test match to be a flat tracker as well. So talking about Jofra Archer, who may have to bowl some overs for like 2 3 days, this is a decision that England might regret or may not regret. It depends, because Jofra Archer also has done very well at Lords. We can remember that famous 2019 test where he concussed Steve Smith and was quite feisty in his spell. So it was a very famous spell. So England would hope that they would want Jofra Archer to produce some sort of spell like that. So that means that Jofra Archer is back, and it is a big sign for England, talking about how they have to manage workload as well, because flat pitches comes with cons, and one of the big cons for flat pitch is the bowlers. And if you don't take care of the bowlers who have to bowl a lot of overs, and especially if there are pacers, then it can pose a lot of trouble for England. And hopefully they don't find themselves in a rut where their pacers are not being able to do well due to the workload present and the gaps in the test matches. And if Jofra Archer can live up to the task and not get injured again, because I feel like he is an injury-prone player. He has been injured quite a lot in the last 3 4 years, and him coming back into the test match series can pose a lot of trouble to him, or maybe he can do well. So it's a 50-50 factor for me, because Jofra Archer is a good bowler. When he comes, he bowls with full heart and a full energy. But again, he is injured. He was injured, and he's coming back after a long time. He may not be as consistent as he was when he was in his early part of career. So that's a question that can put a seed in. It's a food for thought for later on to the series, how Jofra Archer performs. Now we go on to the conditions and the match where the match is being held at Lords, the mecca of cricket, the home of cricket, the place where Test cricket is loved and the most competitive cricket is played. Lords is a venue that a lot of people adore because they want to perform their best, they want to play good cricket, and they want to come to the honours board. So you will see that visiting sides here come and play with full heart here. We have seen a lot of legendary moments, not just for England, but for visiting sides as well. For India as well, where I can remember in an ODI series where Saurav Ganguly has that famous picture where he lifted his shirt off and he was celebrating his victory. And now the last test match played here at Lords between India and England, the famous test of Lords where Virat Kohli's team bowled England out for 127 odd and won the test by 255 runs. Proneet, is that the match where where Virat said that for 60 overs they should feel hell out there? Was that the match?
Yes. It was in that very match where before that Shami scored a 50 and Bumrah scored a anchoring 34 or 28 something.
So you know that competitive cricket is played here and is very well received, because in the last 2 3 years, Lords is a venue where 2 test matches are held compared to other venues where only one is held every year. Here, 2 matches are held every year, and one of them has been completed where the WTC final has been played. And WTC final also created a very big competitive matchup. And for the Ashes series as well, 2 years ago, Ben Stokes almost pulled off an Headingley where he almost scored 350, but wasn't being able to do so. So thrillers have been played here, and one would expect that thrillers would come forward as well, especially for this match. We're going to talk about conditions as well of Lords. And Vedant, I have a question for you. How do you think the pitch will play? Because there have been some reports talking about where there has been a green pitch in place. And if there is a green pitch, if there is a complete green pitch where the bowlers will get a lot of assistance, do you feel like will it harm England or will it harm India more? What is the thought process behind that?
See, I think Lords is expected to have a green track. From the images that we saw, it is a green track and also the slope aiding the bowlers. So I think it is very difficult to say who it is going to advantage more because it depends on overhead conditions, which we don't know for now. That is why I'm not, but and both teams have a very good bowling attack. So I think they are at par over there. And well, I think Agni or Proneet, you all were speaking about how Jofra Archer might have to bowl a lot of overs. But in this test match particularly, I don't think that is going to be the case because the track that is expected to be in store for the people playing. And also, Proneet mentioned one point about how Archer, maybe Atkinson in place of Archer, but I mean, Archer has to give in some time you have to give a go to the person to know how fit he is or not. So that way, and with conditions, it is very evenly poised and it depends on overhead conditions.
Yep. Overhead conditions always play a factor when it's in England because if it's overcast, any flat wicket will turn into a swinging paradise. And when it's very sunny, even the greenest of pitches can be batting friendly as well. So overcast conditions, the conditions up above on the clouds play a lot of factor. But we don't know about that. It's unpredictable. And especially in England, it's unpredictable because it can get overcast anytime and it can get sunny anytime. So we don't know about that. But what we do know is the Lord's slope. You can see the arrow here that is going towards the left. It's not really a straight arrow if you look at it. It's a bit of a sloping arrow. Now, how does that play a factor? Well, there are two ends. And if there is a ground which is sloping in nature, the pitch is also sloped. And that means it's advantage to the bowlers in one way. How? In the pavilion end, which we can see right now, the pitch is slightly tilted to the left. And now we want to talk about the respectable conditions of how if a right-hand bowler is bowling to the right-hand batsman, not the other way around. We're going to talk about in respect to that. If a right-hand bowler is bowling to the right-hand batsman in the pavilion end, if the batsman is at the nursery end, and if the bowler is from the pavilion end, you'll see the ball coming in. So if you think about it, if you imagine it, the pitch is really caving into the right-hander. That means the natural ball, the stock ball, will be coming in. So the batsmen who are not comfortable in playing with the pads or they are not comfortable in playing to the leg side may feel some trouble. And they can, of course, get LBW out, or the surprise delivery where there's an outswinger. They can tend to play at it because the slope is towards them. So they can have they may play at it because the head movement is towards the slope, and that's why they can produce an edge there. So that is a big advantage to the bowlers. Even bigger advantage to the bowler is bowling from the nursery end, the opposite end, where the media stand is there. You can see that if it's caving into the right-hand batsman in the pavilion end, you can see that in the nursery end, it's caving out. Now, that poses a lot of danger because the stall ball is going out. And when it's going out, you tend to edge it and you tend to play at it. And it's a natural feeling for a lot of batsmen to play at it. So that's a big factor because in that end, most of the wickets fall. And especially for batsmen who are not adjusted to the surroundings yet, especially inexperienced batsmen who have not played here, it can pose a lot of trouble because not a lot of batsmen have been successful here. And that's the exact reason why. England can doctor pitches, as we have seen. They have made flat tracks for the first two matches. But what they can't doctor is the slope. And that means bowling will have a lot of say in this match. And my prediction is that it won't go to a 5-day test match as we have seen in the first two test matches due to the nature of the cricket they play. Even clear picture we have in front of you is the slope where it goes down up to 8.5 feet. Now, if Vedant is standing at point and I'm standing at square leg, Vedant won't be able to see me. He will be able to see the pitch, but he won't be able to see me. That is the difference. The slope is that much. Because if you're standing at point, I'm standing at square leg, deep point, we won't be able to see each other. So that plays a lot of factor. And you see when it's slopey like that, it can be quite of a different wicket for the outfielders and the bowlers as well, because their run up changes, their fielding technique changes, because when there's a slope, the outfield tends to get faster. If it's rolling down, if it's rolling up, it doesn't go to the boundary. So it is a even contest, because there's a challenge for everyone, and that's why we have seen a lot of good cricket here. Going to the stats, and I'm talking about, we have a handful of stats because I've just taken the sample size of 5 test matches instead of the last decade, because a lot of test matches have been played here. The toss. The toss shows a big factor. 7 out of the last 8 test matches, the tosses that have been won, the captains have chosen to bowl first. Now, Proneet, what could be the reason? Because overhead conditions are not always great, and especially in the Ashes series where Australia scored 436 in the first innings, and I can remember in the India series as well, India scored around 300 as well. So why do you think opponents or the captains who win the toss want to bowl first? Because if you see the recent trend and the result as well, that kind of it isn't much of a difference where you see the result, because the batting first team has won some matches, and especially in the recent past, in the last 5 test matches, 3 out of the 5 test matches have been won by bowling first. By batting first has also been 2 matches. So why do you think that the captain will choose to bowl first, and why has it been this stark of a difference?
I think if a captain is choosing to bowl first in this Lord's pitch, it is simply because of the mindset that yes, this slope is going to cause some problems for the batsman. Let's bowl consistent lengths and just let's get the batting team out as soon as possible. So that is the
Mhm.
simple mentality I think behind electing to bowl first. And also I think in recent times the Lord's pitch has been flatter, I think. The slope has been the only difference that has been caused for the batsman. The only difficulty for the batsman has been the slope, because initially, of course, there has been some movement, everything, but as the match goes, it becomes flatter. So winning captain
Mhm.
always elects to bowl first. That is the mentality to chase in the fourth innings.
Yeah. And traditionally in flatter trackers, and when Lords is coming to question, London comparatively is a quite of a temperate ground, so a spin won't play a lot of factor as we thought of in, suppose, Edgbaston, where there has been a heat spell in Edgbaston. That's why we expected the pitch to crack up a bit, and it did in the fifth day where Jadeja was bowling some good lengths. But here at Lords, uh, at start, there will be some seaming conditions with the new ball. The new Duke's ball always has a say in it, but it really doesn't necessarily mean that the team that wins the toss will win the match. And that's why Lords is known for competitive cricket, because a toss will not generate a win. It's not for sure. As we have seen in Headingley, where the bowling first team has won majorly, here it's not the case because it's very close here. But for England's point of view, it's concerning. It doesn't show here. We're going to talk about it in this slide. Vedant, as you can see here, that England have played a lot of test matches against both the top 5 teams in the world and the later teams in the world, like Ireland, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and on the right. You see there's a big difference of the win margins here, where you can see where England have defeated almost 63%. They have won 63% of the matches in the last decade. They've lost only 2, and they have drawn only 1. But against the top 5 teams here, it's been equal. And the loss has been the same, the win rate has been same, and there has been only 1 drawn match. And adding to the factor, in the last 5 test matches held here, 70% of the matches in England have lost. 70% of the matches England have lost. Only 20% of them they have won, and only 1 of them has been draw. What do you think? What do you think makes England a side which is very beatable here, Vedant? And why is it so that the top teams find it easier to beat England here rather than any other ground in England?
I think it's more the quality of cricket played, because as the stat you showed that there is a lot of equivalence between teams batting first winning and bowling first also winning. So I think end of the day, the major factor is going to be the quality of cricket that is played, and also with England's baseball approach in a wicket which is a very bowler friendly one, it might not have worked that well, and hence they have lost a lot of wickets, one can say, in a not so traditional manner. And one might say that they have thrown away the wickets. So that could have been that. So end of the day, you have to play quality cricket uh, on all days of the game to win. It's more, I think it's
Yeah, and
more about
especially
quality of cricket than the stats involved here.
yeah, but also you can talk about Lords is a slopy ground, as we've talked about quite in detail here. And England play only two test matches every year, and they have a change in the team every year, not like Australia, where they have a very similar team coming forward. Do you
Hmm.
feel like it's an even contest and just say that England are also not too adjusted in these conditions because it's not a wicket which is a very traditional wicket where the ground is flat, or if there's minimum slope, there's not like that. There's a big slope. It's an 8.5 feet depth here. So, do you feel like the sides who are coming here have a better chance at defeating England rather than any other ground? Really? And why is it like? Why is this the ground where teams have come and have beaten England quite convincingly rather than in any other ground? Rather than like it's been a difference.
I would associate it majorly with the quality of cricket being played, in my personal opinion. Even Australia has similar pitches, and one can say that in recent times, in bowling friendly wickets, England's batting has not applied themselves very well, and hence you'll
Hmm.
see in generally that in wickets which are more bowling friendly in nature, England loses more.
Hmm.
That could be one. So that is why I'm again saying that more than the slope, because see, slope is applicable to both the teams, right? So
Yeah.
I think more than the slope and the feature, I think it is more about how you apply yourself, both the bowlers and the batsmen, and who executes their plans better and fields
Yeah.
better. So it is that which is going to determine the game.
Right. And we move on to perhaps our most interested and the most heated segments of all, our playing 11s. And before we go into our playing 11s, we must mention that Jasprit Bumrah is back. Shubman Gill, the captain, has confirmed that in the last press conference they had, and Jasprit Bumrah is back. Proneet, before we go on to the 11s, we're going to talk about our 11s. How do you feel when Jasprit Bumrah is back? Do you feel India is a very formidable bowling lineup now? Because Siraj and Akashdeep are in great form, and Bumrah is now back, who has a magic hand, who always has this kind of knack of taking wickets always, and especially in pitches like these, he has always been the person to go to. So do you feel like Jasprit Bumrah, Akashdeep, and Siraj, who are coming forward, do you feel like this attack can be a very formidable attack for India coming forward, or do you feel like it can be changed later on?
If you talk about Lords, first of all, being a bowling friendly pitch, number one. Number two, England has asked the pitch curators to give everything in the pitch for the bowlers. So, looking
Hmm.
at these 2 points and drawing conclusions from the first two test matches, Akashdeep, Siraj, and Jasprit Bumrah coming back. So, I think this attack will like is very dangerous in the Lord's pitch. So
Yeah,
England needs to be a lot careful and improve a lot in their batting, and the way they
Mhm.
batted in the second test. So I think they need to be more careful.
Hmm. Yeah.
But Praneeth, don't you think? Are you taking for granted that Akashdeep will be back in the next match, talking about how Gautam Gambhir has chopped and changed so much?
Oh no, I don't guarantee that. I really want that Akashdeep stays, but I don't guarantee that he will stay or not. It's Gautam Gambhir's decision.
Proneet, if Akashdeep does not
What
come,
if
then
you see
we can make a video on how
We
but
will we will
India's
make a 2 hours video if you want.
yes, please. I
a
I
agree.
really
part two
want that.
video, a part two video on why Gautam Gambhir is the most trash coach in cricket and why Greg Chappell should come back and coach the Indian team? I think that should be our off
Yeah,
title.
Sure, sure.
in all fairness, it is just the test matches and so much of chopping and changing that we have an issue with, nothing else. Otherwise, he has done really
Yeah, yeah, great guy, right? Praneeth, he's a
yeah.
great guy, right? Off the field.
Sometimes I think we
Yes,
go a bit
I
overboard
have
in the
great
criticizing.
admiration for Gautam Gambhir. I really like that person a lot.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I
But his
want
coach,
to now. I mean, I can't control my laughter within that. How it's.
but I mean, just his coaching tendencies are a bit weakened, and I mean, this can be worked upon maybe. But Tony, do stay here because your 11 is coming up now. There's only one change on 11, and which is of course the necessary change for Jasprit Bumrah coming in. Proneet, talk us through this and why has been there only one change and not like five changes like you like with Gautam Gambhir.
Yes, I got the 11 that I wanted, and India played with that 11 and won the test match. So
Mhm.
I decided not to change anything, and the things that were the Jasprit Bumrah will go out in the next test match as well. So again, in his place, we will take Prasidh Krishna again, and again in the fifth test match, Jasprit Bumrah will come in. Like that, the things will go with Bumrah. That is his case. That is a different case. Now we talk about spinners. I stayed with Washington Sundar, number one, because of his batting ability. We saw how he batted in the two innings that he played. Second innings he did not do much, but when the first innings he scored a gritty 42 of 108. So that he looked very good. And although spin might not have that much of a say in this test match, but still, let's go with Sundar. I felt back him, and Nitish Kumar Reddy. He did not get his chance in bowling as well. He did not bowl much, and in batting also, the first innings his wicket was a bit unlucky. I would feel that the ball nipped back in. It was a great delivery, and again in the second innings he went to hit. So I think there is no reason to drop Nitish Kumar Reddy. So I feel the batting 11 stays as it was. The bowling did really well. So there's nothing to change. That's it.
Yeah. Why don't you think Shardul Thakur is in the 11? Why do you feel like is three pacers and one filler pacer like Nitish Kumar Reddy is enough? Do you feel like it's enough for this kind of wicket where there's a bowling paradise?
If it's a bowling paradise, I feel Akashdeep Bumrah and Siraj are enough, and even Nitish Kumar Reddy might get something from the pitch. So because he bowled actually good from his 6 overs or 10 overs. He bowled in the first innings, and later he bowled a bit in the second innings. He bowled well.
Mm.
He bowled well.
Mm.
So I feel Nitish Kumar Reddy might also get something from the pitch. So nothing much to change in the bowling lineup.
Pretty logical 11 from my set. Vedant, are you surprised by this? Or you've seen that there's not a lot of changes here? Are you surprised with this, Vedant? Or do you have any suggestions for
No,
this?
I'm genuinely not surprised. Proneet had said he wanted that 11, so it was expected that he'll play that. He wants or suggests that. So not surprised. No.
Yeah, and that's the case for Proneet's 11. The more interesting 11, that's why I put it a bit ahead of Proneet, is Vedant's 11. He suggested to get in Shardul Thakur for Washington Sundar. Before I let Vedant continue his case for this 11, I want to mention the fact that at the start in the preview, he mentioned that I don't want Nitish Kumar Reddy and Shardul Thakur to play both because they are all-rounders and Nitish Kumar Reddy is a weaker batsman. Yet, we have come here in the third test match and he has included both Nitish Kumar Reddy and Shardul Thakur. And instead of replacing Nitish Kumar Reddy for Shardul Thakur, he has replaced Washington Sundar for Shardul Thakur. So tell us why, Vedant, at first, and talk us through this 11 and why you have changed this, made this small change.
Look, firstly, why Shardul Thakur? In the preview, I also mentioned that Shardul Thakur and Washington Sundar will swap places with respect to how the conditions are supposed to go ahead, and the conditions favoring seamers this time around. That is why Shardul Thakur. So that's cleared. And why on not keeping NK Reddy? That is because I am not, again, I don't want to promote a lot of chopping and changing. See, ideally, I would have wanted Sai Sudarshan at number 3 and Karun Nair at number 6. But since the management has decided that they are not going to do that, which we saw in the second test, hence to avoid chopping and changing, I have played him. And because he has gotten a go, why not?
Yeah, but who knows? We can see Sai Sudarshan back in number 3 next
Who
match
knows?
and
Who knows?
Nitish Kumar Reddy out and Karun Nair at number 6. Who
Might
knows? We
be.
can have that
Might
kind of
be.
cycle.
Might be.
I highly suspect Gautam Gambhir. He can bring in Sai next match.
That
Yeah,
can.
will you be surprised if Gautam Gambhir gets only one or two changes at max? Yeah, will you be surprised, guys?
I
Very
don't
much,
think so
very
because
much.
no, not because you are coming from a 300 plus victory, so a huge margin.
Mm,
So then why do you
yeah.
need to change? You don't need.
Yeah.
Yeah, and India have won their first test match after November, which is a pretty long time. So this is the first test match where they have a platform that okay, we have won this test match with this 11. The other 11s didn't work because they lost the match. This one works. So what if Gautam Gambhir thinks, if he has a kind of ideology of Gautam Gambhir thinking that wait, we have won this test match now, I want to have this kind of side side now. So maybe we can see Gautam Gambhir change colors and get and be a consistent coach and have this kind of 11 because this is the first instance after
We,
November. It's been a long
we are
time
all
where
hoping for that to happen. That
yeah, and India have gotten a win, a
The
big
Indian
win
fans will be
actually.
the happiest.
Yeah. So tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m., when the toss goes off, it will be quite interesting to see what 11 India come up with and what other words Shubman Gill has to say because he's in complete in a god level form right now. He's right now completely the. I mean, he has. I think he has risen up. 20, I think he has risen up about 10, 15 ranks in the test
15 ranks.
rankings.
15.
15. 15.
15 ranks in the test rankings, and now Harry Brook is the number one test batsman. So a lot of changes there, but Gill has to make a lot of calls because it's a Lord's pitch, but it's a challenging wicket for batsmen. So very interesting to see how Shubman Gill as a batsman will come forward in Lord's pitch and how he will apply himself. Because we have had a talk before about how Shubman Gill has played well, but it's been flat pitches. It's not been a wicket where a lot of assistance has been there. So now there'll be assistance. And now we'll see if Shubman Gill comes out and gives this checkbox saying that I'm able to score when there is a tough track as well. That will give a lot of hope to the Indian batsman, saying that okay, he is a quality batsman. He play in tough conditions, and he'll come through. Well, we've come to the end of this video, and we're going to talk about the predictions now. If India, it's an early prediction, of course, because it's going to be a long test match again. But starting from Proneet, do you think India will win this test match, or do you feel like England will bounce back again? And why do you think so?
I will start with why. Number one, the momentum. Number two, English batters not performing. Number three, the slope of the Lord's pitch. It will challenge the batters more. So when it comes to challenging the batters, as Vedant mentioned previously, when it has been a bowler-friendly track, England did not do well. So looking forward to these three cases, India is supposed to take the lead because just after 3 day gap, England batsmen fielded for 5 days. So India is going to take the lead. Easy.
Yeah, Vedant, who has supported England in the last test match, but India has come forward. He is using the classic jinx technique. Do you feel like you want to continue with this? And why is the reasoning so?
See, I always believe in backing the underdogs. And so I'm going to go with England this time around. Simply
Uh,
because
you, uh, uh, did you feel like England were the underdog last match as well?
no, I didn't feel that. I was honest. I was very pretty much. I gave it to England because of the chopping and changing which was being done. So that is why. But this time around, it is pretty even to be well. To be very honest, and if you look at it from an analytical point of view, it advantage is India, no doubt. But I'll be backing England because they are the underdogs this time. So that is it.
Yeah,
And also because
yeah.
Proneet said he's backing
Vedant loves
India.
backing.
So yes. Let's
May
go.
may God save your team.
Let's
And now, from my prediction, I'm going to
I,
say it's again a draw where 5 days will be played and there will be a draw in position.
Agni, what's the funny part? The entire video said, I don't think the match will go to 5 days. I don't think the match will go to
No, no,
five
no.
days.
I'm going to say
And
this
then
just
Agni says
because
it's a
of
draw.
prediction. I'm going to say it's a draw because I want to have a clip where I said that I'm right. I'm going to go to YouTube Shorts and I'm going to upload the clip where Agni
Also,
said that it's
I
going
want
to
to
be a
I
drawn
want to
Agni
give a
match.
wants to be
prediction.
famous.
I want to give another prediction. This might be the England said that last pitch was a subcontinent pitch. Ben Stokes mentioned this. So I feel this match this match is going to end in 3 days. This is a wild prediction, but still
Ah,
I'm going to say 3 days.
three
Last
days. So,
WTC final went to 4 days. WTC final
yeah,
went to 4 days. So why not this 3 days?
yeah.
Yeah,
Some
the
respect for
way
us
the
as well.
English batsmen are applying themselves in tough conditions, I think 3 days is it's not a wild, it's an
Yeah,
expected thing. It's nothing wild.
yeah. And
But what will
less
be
work
very
for us.
interesting to see is how the Indian batsmen
Hmm.
apply themselves. That is
Yeah,
something
it'll be very
very
interesting.
interesting to look
Yeah.
forward to.
especially in tough conditions where
Especially in
England have
exactly that is
found.
right. Because in
Yeah, yeah.
flat
So
pitches, one really can't make out a lot of difference. So that is why
yep.
that will be an interesting thing to see.
So there we go. We are done with the predictions, and now we have come to the end of the video. Before ending the video, I want to talk about what we're going to go ahead with the channel with. We are not going to post everyday reviews now because we have more content in front of you. We just don't want to post just reviews for CNE. We want to post good content as well. So a lot of good content coming forward. We're going to react to memes. We're going to react to. We are going to do some quizzes. We're going to, of course, continue our review portal as well because it's very important. It's in our essence of the channel to continue reviews, but it's also important for us to deliver good content as well. We just don't want to be a review channel. We want to be a channel with a complete package in front of us. So do follow our Instagram because we're going to put updates there. I'm going to talk about what we're going to talk about and what videos are going to come ahead. And we are going to also talk about how this test match goes forward. We're going to talk about the halfway point of the test match and then the end of the test match. So we're going to post two videos for the same. So whenever where two innings get over or the halfway point of the test match comes over, we're going to make a video on it. And if when the test match gets over, we're going to make another video on it.
And
And we're
also,
going to have also.
I'll just like to say that we are also going to do a lot of case studies and debates also. That is the part which I
Yeah,
am personally most interested about.
yeah, very
Like it
interesting,
Same,
and I
same.
like the part. I like that part as well because debating is. I feel like that makes our channel quite hyped and quite.
it's interesting
It
to do
enriches our channel.
case studies and our research work before that. It's a bit exhausting, but it's nice.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice. It's nice, especially when passionate cricket lovers come and I want when I'm looking at a lot of stats. Again, it's very enjoying for us as well. So a lot of things coming forward for CNE where we want to also talk about the ODI series. We want to also talk about the Test series going about in West Indies and Australia. So a lot of videos to come forward, but we're not going to post everyday reviews of England and India only. So we're going to have a whole rounded setup for this channel. So till then, we're going to post a lot of that in our Instagram. We're going to talk about our schedule in our Instagram. But till then, it's a very good night from us. It's around 11 o'clock for us at night. But it's good night from us. It's good night from Vedant, Sharan. It's good night from Proneet, Ghatak as well. Good night from us at CNE.